Hello, my name is Bo Short, and I'd like to welcome you to Leading with Impact. And let me just share a story with you. When I was 8 years old, my little league football team was selling boxes of mints to raise money. So I remember asking what the top prize was, and it was 120 boxes of mints. So that's what I wanted to do. We lived in Atlanta, Georgia, right down the street from Emory University. So my mom got a card table and boxes of mints, and every Saturday and Sunday she'd take me to the local A&P store, and I would stand there with this card table and these boxes of mints, and as people walked by, I'd say, "Would you like to buy a box of mints, sir? Would you like to buy a box of mints, ma'am?" And every once in a while somebody would throw this little kid $1. But most of the people would just walk by, some with a smile on their face, but oddly enough, most people would just ignore me. And they just walk right by me. And I remember one day I was going home with my mom and I couldn't understand this. And I almost had tears in my eyes. I said, "Mom, why is it that these people just walk right by me and act like I'm not even there?" And I mean, just throw this little chubby kid $1. I mean, that's all I was thinking to myself. Just give me $1. I want 120 boxes of mints. And that moment, my mom said something to me that impacted me forever. My mom looked at me and said, "Sugar," we're from Georgia. She said, "Sugar, I need to tell you something. Now listen to me, Bobo." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "Look, when this is all over with, you will not remember how many no's you had, but you will forever remember the yeses. The yeses." And in those words, it was all about goal setting and perseverance and character development and all these leadership things that an 8-year-old kid doesn't necessarily understand. But I remember being hit with the fact that what was the story I was telling myself? What was I telling myself? Every time somebody walked by and ignored me, I would say, "Oh, I'm never going to sell these boxes of mints." But in that moment, my mom taught me to tell myself a different story. So as people would walk by and ignore me, I would say to myself, "I'm going to sell a box of mints. I'm going to sell a box of mints." And all I can tell you is that was at the age of 8. I'm 56 years old today, 48 years later. I have no idea how many people said no. I have no idea how many people ignore me. I don't even remember the faces of the people that ignore me. But I do know this. 48 years later, 120 people said yes. 120 people said yes. And it was in large part because I told myself a different story. What do you say to yourself about yourself? What are the words that you use to speak about yourself on a daily basis? When you go through your life, are you sitting there saying, "I'll never get this done"? Or are you saying to yourself, "I can do this. I can do this"? 48 years later, this little kid remembers 120 yeses because of the story I chose to tell myself. Folks, I'm telling you, as you go through your life, start speaking the right words about yourself, to yourself. Even if they're said silently, you can hear them reverberate in your brain. You can hear them loudly and clearly. If people have told you you can, I'm telling you you can. You start telling yourself you can. Robert Kiyosaki wrote, "If you want to change your life, begin by changing your words. Start speaking the words of your dreams, of who you want to become, not the words of fear and failure." Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "In art, the hand can never execute anything than the heart can imagine." I'm telling you right now how vital it is that not only you, but as you teach your children, you embrace the words you give your children. Speak the right words about yourself, to yourself. Start changing the dialogue. If you've gone through life saying, "I can't," start going through life determining you will. Because the difference between "I can do that" and "I can't do that" is not an apostrophe and a T. It's the difference between success and failure. It's the difference between winning and losing. It's the difference between living and dying. I can do this. You can do this. And if you start to tell yourself the right story about yourself, you will truly be leading with impact. Thank you.